The human perspective.
Whoa. Flat Earth, this is a good one. It's got a lot of potential. I think maybe not as a theory, but it's got a lot of potential as a paradigm. What I mean by that is it carries a lot of weight as a paradigm because once you see it, it changes so much of everything. It's literally a paradigm that changes everything if it were true. Which, of course, I don't believe it's not. I really don't believe it's even worthy of debating on this channel, except for I felt like it was a good example of a distraction, basically, and a good example of how, I was able to see it and not get sucked into this because I stayed on the fence about it. Even though I was able to see it, I didn't get sucked in. So in that sense, it's a good example of how to see it but not get pulled into it. And what I mean by that is when you get pulled into it, things that sort of work against the theory, you try to come up with excuses for. We see it all the time. So I just come to the conclusion that I wanted to create a video where anybody could sort of do these little experiments themselves, or really observations, to prove to themselves that, this in fact is a distraction of a theory. It's not at all true that the world is flat. And in order for it to be a true theory, so much would have to change. We'd have to be looking at a Truman Show sort of scenario where, there's actors in place. For those who don't know the movie, it's like everything's catered to this Truman guy. He doesn't realize he's on the show, but everybody's actors in his life, and just something sort of really far-fetched in order for this to be a theory that, could even be considered, because if you go there, you can say anything, but, so yeah, I wanted three things that people could do themselves just to show that it is indeed round and the evidence is right in front of us. And I think Christians are particularly susceptible to this theory because it doesn't really interfere with Christianity. It might even breathe new life into it. So anyway, the evidence. Anyone can gather this. Three ways. And then hopefully we can stop all this nonsense, because I believe this is a distraction from some of the real issues. And on the surface, it even seems more unbelievable in many ways. So, the first way, night images, where they leave the shutter open. Different parts of the world creates different streak patterns. You can see on this image from this observatory here, in the reflection, you can see that the stars are going around and around in a circle pattern, while straight ahead there's more of a streaking, and you can see this phenomenon all over the world. So, you're closer to the equator, it's going to be more of a straight streak. You're closer to the poles, you're going to get more of this rounding, sort of spinning effect that you see in the reflection of the dish. The second way is anyone who has one of the star map apps, when your location's turned on, you can actually track the sun. Even after it goes down, you can watch it go all the way around the planet. So, coordinate with someone, message boards or however you got to, somewhere on the other side of the planet, right? Maybe you can get somebody, if you're in America, someone in London, someone in Japan, or just somewhere over there where you say, oh, the sun's right beneath my feet. Where is it for you? Oh, it's right above our heads. That does require one other person, but like I said, it would take a Truman Show sort of event. That person would have to be an actor waiting for your contact on the message board, so or sort of even something like that. The other way is when the sun goes down. You know, they say that it's perspective. It simply goes away. So as the sun goes away, it should get dimmer, right? And the perspective theory gets dimmer. But in actuality, what happens is the Earth creates a shadow because of the way it's turning. There's a shadow that's created. Take a look at this. In the flat Earth model, the sun is always coming down through the sky, the clouds. But in the rounded model that we're used to, there's times when the sun actually shoots up underneath the clouds, as you see here. And it actually happens that in some of the buildings, like in Dubai, I believe it's like 2 minutes later for the sunrise at the top of the building as it is for someone standing at the bottom, as you see there. And I tried like heck to find this image, or to take an image of this phenomenon of, I got the clouds underneath, but I didn't. For a while it took me to get this sort of shadow, like we saw in the animation, sort of this point right here when it's creating a shadow from the Earth on the clouds, and you can kind of see from the side. But right here you can see there's a shadow that the Earth is creating at an angle that the sun is beneath the horizon. Here's another shot of a time lapse of the clouds. You can see the red light of the sun fading away as it goes behind the horizon. You wouldn't get this in the flat Earth model, because in the flat Earth model, the sun never shoots up underneath the clouds. As you see, the sun is always shooting down through the clouds. And that's not even getting into the whole perspective and the way the light rays in my animation. Really, those light rays would be coming almost in a straight line because the sun in the round Earth model is just so far away that it's pretty much just straight rays. So that would be another difference that wasn't really pointed out here. But you can observe this phenomenon just looking around in just watching the clouds. Same way in the morning. If you reverse this, you'll see the sun hit the top of the building first, and then from there, it'll start coming down the building. And so the people at the top get a sunrise before the people at the bottom. That's how it works out. So just 3 simple ways. You can just, look up these images online. Nighttime shutter open, something along those lines. The Star Map app, you can download that for either Android or iPhone, I'm sure. And, with that app, you can actually put in a different location, because I found this out because the sun was in the wrong location for me once, and I couldn't figure out why, and I had my location turned off to save on battery, and it was considering that I was in the UK, so it looked like the sun was already starting to come up for the day, when really it was just still the middle of the night here. But anyway, I appreciate you watching, and be careful with these paradigm shifts. They're powerful. They can, they can change people's lives dramatically in good and bad ways. So that's why it's better to just stay on the fence with this stuff, because some of these obvious things I'm pointing out here, you would just miss them. If you get too far in, or you'll try to fit them in or figure out a way to manipulate them for your story to still work out. And that's not what you want to do. That's not really the honest approach. So thanks for watching, and we'll see you in the next episode.